Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to the Financial Griot podcast, where we talk about our money stories and really get into the nits and grits of understanding budgeting, cash flow management, investing, buying homes, or even making financial mistakes. And this is what we do. We love to have these conversations with you, and we also love to bring on guests as awesome as possible. So with that being said, I do have with me my other co-host, Alana, and for some reason, our second co-host, our other co-host, Lovely, hasn't been around because she got too important after she.
Don't do that to Lovely.
She
We're
hung
not
out with
doing
Obama.
that to Lovely.
Hey! Don't try to get on her good side because she's gonna be rich. It's all good.
I'm always going to be on Lovely good side.
Exactly. But ultimately, today we do have the lovely Miss Jay Stevens, because she's out here in these streets teaching us about financial literacy and also sharing her love of tax planning or taxes, or even some short stories about her and her rental property. So she's out there. She's always been. We met her in FinCon. It was a great time. She was a little clingy, but it's okay. She's here now, and she's gonna share. And we like to clown around a little bit, so I'll pass it over to her so she could do her own introduction, please.
Hey y'all, hey, it's Jay, doer of dope things, purveyor of hopes and dreams, all that good stuff. And I don't know, clingy might be a strong choice of words.
Yeah,
I feel like
it was messed up. It was like a call out for no reason. Not bad.
Right.
I'll leave the shade for Atlanta. It's okay.
No, because you came at me shady from the jump, from the giddy up, and I was like,
from the jump.
Oh, like, have you been holding
at
this?
FinCon, yes.
No, I didn't hold it because I released it at FinCon.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whose man is this? Like, Atlanta, you bad fool. Because and you did it when I was already vulnerable because I was hungry. I was just trying to live my life and eat in peace. All I wanted was that Japanese steakhouse. And
we're looking for food, right?
I made a side conversation that had nothing to do with you. You jumped in there like, not today, not mine.
Yeah, I felt like he was coming for Howard. And shout out to Howard, my alma mater for grad school. It's homecoming weekend in a week. Depending on when you're listening to this, it might have already passed. But yeah, so we just had, FinCon is this magical little happy place for those of us who are money nerds. It really, the like tagline is money nerds unite. And we really do unite. It's just this fluid space of like, you can go to these workshops. You can also just create your own workshop. You can talk to some people. You also can go back to your room and recharge your social battery. And I did all those things unapologetically. And in that process, got to connect with y'all, which I thought was great. I really had a good time with you all. And my only regret is that, well, one, COVID was rampant after that. Thank God
we didn't get a hibachi though. That was messed up. That would have been nice.
Okay.
It would have been nice.
Okay.
It probably would have been expensive though, but you know.
Yeah, and I feel like it probably wasn't that authentic.
It probably was. But I like anytime I see fire, I'm like, fire.
You get excited. Okay. That's what you're paying for. The gratuity is coming into that.
Yes, the little flip the shrimp into your mouth thing. I don't know, choking hazard there. But
flipping shrimps into people's mouths, like that's some skill.
That's part of the act. Like they toss it and then they make a little volcano.
Oh, see, I just seen it on the outside end. I never actually,
Oh, you never been? How you from Miami?
Well, I walked in there. I literally walked in there. I've been inside, but I just never actually experienced it at the table. I never had that much money. I've always been pretty poor, guys. Thank you for reminding me.
But you have money now.
I do, yes. Also, thank you for also reminding me that too.
Okay.
I feel like if you go on like a Monday, there's like a Monday discount. I don't know. Go with the senior citizen, get the senior citizen discount.
Damn,
maybe AARP.
You had to hit the senior citizen because it's a graze.
I got gray hair too. I said go with the senior citizen.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a personal stab. Like it was non-called for. I know I called out Howard, but it's okay. Like we moved on. That was a whole other month ago. Let it go.
Yeah, no, I let it go, but I was still bringing it up for the context of how we met. I feel like maybe we need a kumbaya moment right now.
Just breathe.
Right.
Somebody listening to this is like, where is this going?
We are all healed and healthy people. Just having a good time. For anyone who's in the audience, like, what am I listening to? What just happened? But no, and this is also what I like, that we can naturally have this banter, this back and forth, this interplay of discussion, and not have the pressure of, am I saying it right? Although if you could see our faces, we probably are giving each other like drastic side eyes every now and then. Like, did you really just say that on my podcast?
But that's the thing. It's a fun part of it. I think a lot of people take financial conversations to be very serious, or even like really stuffy in the top over here, words that I can't understand or ideals that I can't comprehend. But ultimately, it's about the stories and the journey that we go through in life. So if we're not having these conversations and sharing these one-on-ones with guests, how do you know what to do to get there? It's not just, hey, I'm a multimillionaire, I'm Oprah. We need to know how Oprah did it from beginning to end. I need to understand, like, what can I do? What can I glean to actually live my life a certain way, or even make some changes that might, yield similar or even help me understand a greater portion of myself. Yeah, I'm trying to be deep.
Always and forever trying to be deep. It ain't even that deep.
It wasn't even that deep. Let's do this interview. Let's be professionals.
Okay, let's go back. Miss J. So first thing first, because I know your career and your life just took a lot of, pivots and transformations and transitions. What was your money story, or the fact that you want to just get better with money? Because we can get into how you paid off your student loans and debt and all the good stuff, but like, what kind of really pushed you? Because now, you're a money nerd now, you want to share the information, but what kind of motivates you to get to that point?
Yeah, I think it was always there. So, I know some people have this beautiful like aha moment, like a Disney movie where just it magically all comes together. It was always in me. I just didn't have the time for it. So as a kid, I liked math a lot. And then when I was in college, I took my first finance course and I loved it. And I thought, this is a whole world that exists and I never knew about it. My understanding of personal wealth and finance was different from how I came up. I didn't know investing. I didn't know stock was a word, at least short of like chicken stock that you use to cook with or something. So it was interesting to me. And I realized the need for other people to learn it, because I figure if I don't know it, there's got to be other people who haven't taken this finance course and don't know it. But I entered the workforce after college because I was an adult graduating during the 2008 recession. I graduated in 2009. And I didn't have the privilege of saying, what do I really want to do? I had the responsibility of saying, what do I need to do? So I became an auditor for the Navy, and then I joined Big Four Consulting. And I loved it. I thought it was so cool to work. I was at Deloitte. I was on the great track towards becoming a partner. And that was fulfilling for me until I took a moment and just realized what was necessary for me to succeed in that space was not sustainable. And it wasn't bringing me peace or joy at all the way I thought it would. Like, it's not that I was miserable every day. I had great friends there. I still have great friends in that space, but I just didn't want it anymore. And I also realized the way that lifestyle creep was manifesting in my life. So it went from, I was quite the social butterfly. And it went from, I'm going to, just go to brunch with friends or go to happy hour, to every day I have multiple places and things that I need to be seen at. And each of those requires some type of financial commitment, whether it's, buying a ticket, having the right outfit, getting the right exposure, working the room. And it's not bad to be a socialite in that kind of space, but it is that to let it reign and control you in a way that you're not really you anymore, that the way you're prioritizing your time, your health, your money, like it's not there. And so during the pandemic, I finally had time to sit and really think about that, as we all did. I think it was sad what the pandemic did to the world, but the number of people I've seen who use that time to grow and focus on themselves, I love that part of it. And that's what happened to me. I had nowhere to go. My social calendar stopped. And at some point I was like, I finished all the home improvement things I was going to do. I didn't get into the coloring book phase. I didn't get into the like sourdough bread phase. I did start working out more as much as I could, but I was just like, okay, what do I do now? And with that quiet, I finally was able to pay off a lot of debt, because not going to social events. I went in on like thousands and thousands of like, this all needs to get paid off. And when I finally got to the end of it, I think it was like a good $50,000 that I just had paid off in about a year or two.
Was that a mix of, I'm sorry, but was that a mix
ahead.
of student loan or just more consumer debt?
Consumer debt and student loan debt. And I can tell you the story of how I got into it. It wasn't even like I was being irresponsible. I mean, obviously in some way I was being irresponsible to think that far in there, but it wasn't as though I was doing something ridiculous. I had a series of life happen moments and not having savings for them. And then just being underpaid. I was actually part of a lawsuit against my former employer for unfair pay, and fortunately won that lawsuit. I mean, let's be true, the settlement wasn't enough to make me feel like I got my payback. But if I just was happy that we won and we proved the point that we weren't being paid fairly. So it was like I wasn't getting paid enough. I was spending way. I was trying to keep up with the Joneses. And all of that just became an issue. So when I finally had time to sit still during the pandemic, I not only paid off the debt, but then I realized I'm free to do what I really want for the most part in my career. So that's when I switched from Big Four consulting to technology and the tech industry. They pay a lot better, y'all. Let me tell you something. Woo, that paycheck hit different, bucko. So
I'm still struggling over here with the feds. They don't do none of that. Like, we get respectable, like, hey, every 2 weeks it's respectable, but it's not. Don't go out there. You can't escape. You can't escape.
But you get discounts. That federal, that government ID discount, that was nice.
We don't even have that government ID discount. That's like if you're next to like a base or something like that. You're talking about like a military ID discount. The federal government don't get anything.
Yo, you gotta start flexing that.
We don't even get like coffee, like free coffee out here. We don't get nothing.
When you stay at the Marriott Hotel, show your ID. I mean, if you're traveling,
my government ID, I think I might get in trouble. Don't you
gotta do it if you're traveling for work. Please
don't set me up for some kind of like scam, like social media scam. I know you set me up right now.
Nah, son. Because I got a brand to uphold.
I got you.
Do not let the tagline read, I told you to go do something. They said just go out here and rob these. Like,
they said right off the entire room.
Right. The government. I feel like that was not.
She didn't say that at all.
Not at all. But anyway, I got a new job in tech, and then so in addition to having a better income with tech, I also had much improved work-life balance. So that allowed me to finally start my business. So before this, I had always just been helping friends. Like if a friend got a letter from the IRS, I'll be like, okay, look, I'm gonna look up the IRS codification on this. I'm gonna write you a letter for you to send back to them. And then boom, you're good. But when I finally had time to really do it as my business, that's when I started My Wealth Journey LLC. And it's been a little over a year now. I like it. That was also when I finally was able to start doing more with my rental property. Besides just having like a roommate, it was let's rent out the whole unit. So yeah, it was a growth period of the being stuck in the house that really shifted it. It was always in me to do it. It just was never the time to do it until the pandemic helped me pause and think about it.
That's cool. And I like how you mentioned that it's not what you want to do, but it's what you need to do, that you identify that. Even in the midst of lifestyle creep and all these other factors that affected, the financial obligations that you had to do on top of everything, all the other expenses that typically creeped up, right? So with My Wealth Journey LLC, do you typically just help people, educate people? I do know you have a YouTube as well. So let's get into that. Why are you looking like that?
She looked like she had the same type. She looked like she had the same type of YouTube like you got. Like,
I was like,
Atlanta like posts every once in the blue.
Right. So I have great plans. I really do think I could do a lot more on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I've been traveling a lot lately. I tend to do more on Instagram because they're my employer. So we get credits each month that we can use to promote whatever company we want. It doesn't have to be our own company. So we could help like a small organization with advertising. And I've done that before, but it also helps me get, and yes, if I say there's companies, even the ones that we're, representing right now, that are free to use those services.
She ain't gonna promote us. I know how this is. I know how it sounds like, but continue.
I'm about to say, do you need it on tape?
It's like
I was trying not to just say like, oh yeah, go ahead, y'all got my money. But yeah, all you have to do is let me know. And I've said this before. Don't even act like that, because I said this still in. I was like, yeah, I got credits. I'm out here. I'm credit rich.
I just want you to say it on the podcast.
Right.
Oh, now we got it on. We got it on the podcast.
We got it.
Like we know.
Yeah.
It's recorded now.
It's cool. It's cool. It's good. I don't go back on my word like that. Anyway, so yeah, that I do YouTube. I interview people on YouTube. During FinCon, I got a lot of feedback on what I need to do differently for my YouTube page in a safe space, in a nice way. But this guy helped me to see a lot of things. So now I'm almost ashamed of posting anything until I follow the advice he gave me. It's not imposter syndrome as much as I want to respect the time that he poured into me by cleaning things up before I put something else out there. And then he's like, I sat there for a good hour and told her what to do. She didn't do any of it. Just put out more. And it's not like he said it's not bad what I have out there. I just need to tighten it up. So yeah, and then okay, so dramatic. So part of how I was able to keep all these things going, and a good life lesson for anyone who has a business is outsource. Like figure out what you can do and then figure out what you want to do and push everything else aside. So dramatically, about 4 days, a week, less than a week before my business's 1 year anniversary, my assistant, I had a virtual assistant who's a wonderful woman. She quit. So dramatic, like so dramatic. And I had to sit there and think, like, did I do something wrong? Like, because we can
Did she
talk.
give you a reason?
So she did give me a reason, and I don't want to seem unprofessional or messy by putting her business out there. So she just, I think life got really busy for her and it started to grow in other places. And she thought I wouldn't notice that she hadn't been doing any of the things that I was paying her to do. So when I called her out, like, hey, we got this event coming up, the business anniversary happy hour. And I've seen nothing of the mock-ups, the venue, nothing. So can you let me know? I keep paying you and I haven't seen any of this stuff yet. And she kept dodging me and not attending meetings and stuff. And so I really just think, which was good for her, her business grew and she didn't prioritize me as a client anymore. At least that's what I understood it to be. So then when she responded, she's like, you are asking me to join these meetings and stuff. And I told you I just can't do it. So I think we should stop working together. And I was like, all right, that's fair. So I do hope her business continues to grow. It's nothing personal. I think this is just a good opportunity for her to, decide what clients she wanted to focus on. So not being able to have a virtual assistant to help during all that time has made this like journey of making my wealth journey grow different. But I still love what I do. And to answer your question, because I feel like all this needs to get edited out so that I could just actually answer your question.
We don't edit nothing. Nothing.
Because you asked one question and I went on like
it
a
spins
rant.
off. It spins off.
No, it's great. It's great because you get into more of the details and the context of why it actually occurred. Yeah, it's a lot. And
it is so much.
Lovely mention it all the time. And we talk about it on a podcast of how sometimes you have to outsource because you don't have the time to do things as you want. Like for yourself, you're constantly traveling, you're in and out, right? But you want to continuously doing things that you find joy in. So my wealth journey is what you find joy in, and you want to continue prospering your business. So sometimes it does take having a virtual assistant, someone to help you, so you can continue that track of your business in order to become successful. So nothing's wrong with that. But I think one of the things we also talk about on the podcast is that caveat of when you do have the time, you're not utilizing